50-50. It was definitely a slow burn. I think all the performances were really good, and Seth Rogen was really annoying, but the movie seemed to know that he was annoying, and his character really worked well. Angelica Houston delivered a really good performance as the mom, even though it was just kind of a bit part. And actually, the guy that played Lovett's dad, who had Alzheimer's, there's a scene near the end of the picture where Lovitz is about to get an operation for his cancer, and it's just an incredibly moving scene. Like 50-50, it has a really good supporting cast, and the story is pretty simple. Like there's not actually much of a plot to it. It's more of a mood piece actually. Like it's kind of, you have a series of very subdued dramatic scenes that are punctuated by humor, so it never gets too depressing, but at the same time it never really goes off the walls, unrealistic comedy. It always feels like real life, basically. The only person in this movie that really kind of sort of stands out like a sore thumb is definitely the Seth Rogen character. Like, he brings probably the most comedy to the movie. If I hadn't seen any other Seth Rogen movies, if I wasn't just so familiar with that character, because it is the exact same character that he plays in every movie ever since the beginning of time, I might have been more impressed with the performance. And to give the movie credit though, like, whenever it feels like the plot is starting to drag or you're just kind of starting to drift away, it tends to shift gears just really slightly. It's never like, okay, this is one really happy fun scene, now it's all of a sudden depressing. The direction is really well handled. It's very underscored. The director, who also did a movie called The Wagness that sort of has a similar feel to it, kind of a slice of life picture, Jonathan Levine, that's his name. Philip Baker Hall and Matt Frewer, out of the supporting cast, they definitely stand out. Just given the amount of screen time they have, I think that those two characters, the two old men that also have cancer, they really they add another dimension to the film that, even though their parts aren't that big, they bring something to the table that makes it maybe feel like more of a legitimate drama, even though most of their scenes are actually kind of funny. And that's another thing about this movie. The amount of marijuana that is consumed during the runtime, I'd say a little bit less than half of this movie is actually spent either smoking or just consuming THC in one form or the other. As far as emotions go, like, as the movie kind of gets closer and closer to its climax, there's definitely a sort of feeling of dread that builds up, just the reality of the situation of cancer and things. Anybody going into this movie will be at least a little bit emotionally affected, and there really aren't any kind of big twists and turns, and what there are, they do kind of feel a little bit staged and just kind of movie-ish. Oh, Anne Kendrick plays the psychiatrist. And when I saw her, I was like, where have I seen this girl before? And apparently she's in Twilight. She actually does a really good job, and so does Bryce Dallas Howard. Yeah, her performance is actually really good. Like, I like her character. I kind of wish that when things come to a head with her character, that the Seth Rogen character wasn't so involved. It makes for good comedy, but at the same time it sort of undercuts the drama. But it works, though. I mean, that is really what the 50-50 does. Like, if you want to kind of take a literal translation of its plot, you could say that it's 50% drama, 50% comedy, and it walks that line very well. And it's a pretty tightly packed movie all around, so I definitely recommend it. Like, if you're not going to see it in theaters, at least try to catch it when it's on DVD. So I give it probably 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely check it out when you can. Especially if you're a Gordon-Levitt fan.